Hello everybody, welcome to my weird and wonderful world, and today I want to present to you 12 DVDs which I consider, well, are they underrated gems or are they guilty pleasures? You decide. Now, I actually like all these movies and I bring them up because I think they didn't get the attention they deserve, or for some reason people just didn't like it for, and I can understand if you don't and why most people probably didn't like it or didn't give it a good rating or whatnot, because sometimes taste is subjective, so subjective that it depends on how you grew up and where your background is and the age that you were when you first discovered it, and all those things make a factor. Is the same factor that why certain people will like certain bands and other people will not. Like when you talk about people who were born in the 50s and the 60s, they have a very special love for the type of music they grew up on. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I had a very particular influence on the music that I love. But we're not talking about music. We're talking about DVD movies that I own, that for whatever reason I still love them and still would want to watch them. All these movies that I'm about to show you, I am putting them on my list of movies I'm going to be watching within the next few months. Every second weekend, every second weekend, I am going to take one of these. I'm going to put them aside, and I'm going to take one of these, and I'm going to watch them again, because I haven't watched some of these in a long while. A few of them I have, because I really love them, and I watched them maybe within the last 3 to 4 months. So I'll point those ones out. Now the first one, of course, is probably one of the more controversial ones divisive, I should say, not controversial, divisive in my collection. And that is the Green Lantern movie, which is why I'm wearing my Green Lantern shirt and I'm wearing my Green Lantern ring, which I really love. I'm a big fan, and I didn't see anything wrong with that. When I went to first see that, I thought it was well done. I thought it looked appropriate. And so what, the costume was CGI, and so what if the acting wasn't the greatest? The 10-year-old in me, being born in 1971, the 10-year-old in me loved it. Thought it was brilliant. And didn't really get why so many people really knocked it, including Ryan Reynolds himself. If you've seen the post credit scenes in the second Deadpool movie, yeah, even he has something to say about that. So I still think it's a great movie. I still love it. I can still put this on and enjoy it and have a good time. It's not that bad for me. Is it a guilty pleasure or just an underappreciated gem? I think it's a guilty pleasure myself personally, because I still really like it. Now, the next two are kind of a package deal. And of course, the first one being a lot better much better received than the second one, but still, I've heard some comments and commentary of people who didn't like these and thought they didn't do a great job. But I love them. It's Ghost Rider and the Spirit of Vengeance. I should put them in the other opposite direction. So, yeah. I think I like them both. I like this a little bit better. It's my extended cut special edition one, of course. But I think this is still a fun ride, and the special effects are still top notch. The humor in this one is a little. I guess I can understand why people wouldn't like it, but I still think they're a pretty good romp. And the first few movies that I'm going to show you, they're all basically either comic book based or are TV cartoon based. You'll see. Not the last four. The last four are kind of special. And so yeah, so I consider those to be pretty good. Much better than people give them credit for. I still enjoy these, and I will be watching both of these pretty much back to back in a couple of weeks. So, going on to the next one that I thought, like the first time I saw it, I thought it was spectacular and didn't understand why it didn't do very well. From the same maker as The Fifth Element with Luc Besson, it's Valerian. Again, the special effects are top notch. I love the story. I like the humor. Okay, they probably could have been a little bit more animated, and do they have chemistry together? I kind of thought they did. I enjoyed this, and I know people can give this a little bit of a thumbs down, but I give it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really well done. It has such a Luc Besson flavor to it. It's like this what the second part of the Fifth Element could have been. And if they ever did a second part to it, which they should never do, they should only keep it to one movie. But they should follow up on a series of these, because I loved it. I thought it was great, spectacular, and such a great movie that was unappreciated for what it is. Now, the next one, I think maybe people might appreciate this more, but if you haven't seen this movie in a while, check it out, because I remember the first time I saw this movie. Again, I loved it. I loved it. I loved the way they did the animation in it. I love how janky and weird but beautiful. It's a beautiful looking movie. It's Keanu Reeves. It's all the actors are spectacular and awesome in it. And yeah, everything is just top notch. It's based on the book by Philip K. Dick, and I'm looking forward to watching this again. I watched this at least a half a dozen times for sure already, but I really should watch it again. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it again. I seriously love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Now again, another movie from the Wachowskis, which after The Matrix and everything, and V for Vendetta and so on, they did this, and it didn't get well received. It kind of bombed, and I don't know why. It's a little childish or immature in some ways, and there's a monkey in it, but I love it. I think it's the most colorful movie I have. In all my movies, it's the most colorful. It's Speed Racer. Now, high octane action throughout the whole movie. The special effects are spectacular and beautiful. I love all those transitions they pull off in there. It's such a great movie. A movie I could put on and enjoy from front to end, and have a good time. Is it a guilty pleasure, or is it an unappreciated gem? Again, you let me know what you think of all these movies I'm presenting here today, because I love this. I think it's fantastic and awesome. Now, the next one is also, again, based on a comic book or even a cartoon series. But I really love this too. And you would say, what? Why would a guy like me love a movie like this? But there's something about the whole... It's a bit satirical. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek humor. And it has a bit of a social commentary on... And yeah, it's Josie and the Pussycats. I really love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I love the girls in there. I think they're all beautiful. I for a little while when I was a young man, I was really in love with Rachel Lee Cook. I thought she was so gorgeous and beautiful. It's her eyes. It was her eyes that was always the most attractive to me. I love her, the way she looks. I love her eyes. And yeah, so this movie was right up there. I loved the whole take on their whole take on advertising and selling out, and the making fun of boy bands and so on and so forth, and even some of the best inside jokes. If you know the cartoon, there's some awesome inside jokes that are just beautiful. Some great Easter eggs in here, and yeah, I love this. I again a nice movie, good movie that I really enjoy, and I need to watch again very soon. Now, this next movie probably went under so many people's radar, and I consider it a hidden gem. If you and probably a lot of you out there who are watching this video right now probably had never ever heard of this. The main actor is such a, well, he's not the greatest of actor, but for me, this is his best role he has ever done. And again, it's sticking with the superhero theme, although it's not based on any comic book or cartoon or anything. It's just a standalone movie, but it is about a superhero. It's called Special with Michael Rappaport. And I don't want to spoil anything about this movie. If you don't know this movie, keep an open mind and check it out. It is actually pretty funny and sweet and sad at the same time, as if you can understand. So there's a little tagline under Special, which is it has a certain I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but you should really go and check it out. I still love this movie. I still remember really enjoying this movie. Now, I haven't played this in like a few years, probably 4 or 5 years, and I need to watch this again. I haven't watched this in quite a while. So do yourself a favor and check it out too, and you let me know again what you think of it once you do. Always, you can always leave me a comment about it, even if it's several videos later on a completely unrelated video. You just let me know, hey, by the way, I watched Special and I thought this of it, because I'm always curious to hear what people think about stuff like this. I love it. It's awesome. Now, this next one here, I don't think it's really underappreciated, and to me, maybe I really can't call it a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure all around. And if you're fans of this, you will understand. And if you don't know about this, check them out. It's a 2-for-1. It's 2 movies in one, and it's The Crank and Crank 2, High Voltage. And a special note for me, that something I think is awesome, it has a bit of a Tool connection. Maynard James Keenan is in one scene with the dog collar, and he makes a little cameo in this movie, and I think it's genius. I think these are a great movie, high octane action throughout, great humor, and a little raunchy at times, but it's still a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen them, go and see them. Check them out. All these movies, if you can find them on Netflix or wherever you like to watch your movies, please do, because I every one of these movies I love. If you're still not a fan of the Green Lantern, I understand. I'm not going to judge you on that. I love them. I love all these movies, and that's just the way it is. Now, this next movie, we're getting out of the superhero genre now for sure. Especially with this. This is not really a superhero movie, so we're breaking out of that. Now, the next couple here, and I have to bring Charlie Kaufman's little. I think is a masterpiece, and it's such a brain twister. If you like movies like Adaptation or Sunshine on the Spotless Mind, this might be is I would say is pretty much an underrated gem or underappreciated gem, and I don't consider it a guilty pleasure whatsoever. I think it's a great movie, and I do need to watch it again. I do get it, I do understand, but it can kind of expand your mind in a weird way, and that is Schenectady, New York. Schenectady, New York, with Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's Samantha Morton, and so on and so forth. I think it's good. I really, really enjoy this movie, and suggest if you haven't seen it before, check it out. It may not be for everybody. It may confuse you a little bit, 'cause it is a confusing type of movie. It's really like a head trip in many respects. But once you're able to wrap your head around the concept of it, it's a little bit mind expanding and mind blowing in many ways. And I urge you to check it out and keep an open mind. It's always going to be a message of mine to keep an open mind when you watch movies like that. Try not to prejudge it. Try not to have any expectations at all. Just go into it cold and blind, and hopefully you'll get to see the beauty. There's a lot of beauty and tenderness in this movie that I really love. Now, the last two movies are sort of documentary style movies. Or these first 10 that I showed you, some of them are double features, of course, with the Ghost Rider and the Crank movies. They're kind of a 2-1 deal. But these next two, okay, and I am going to end up watching these again, but very later on, after I watch all those first. These are the last on my list, and they're more in my oddball type of movies rather than being a hidden gem or anything. They're not in the same category as those at all. These are just two kind of bonus CDs DVDs that I want to show you, that are kind of they're in my collection, and I do want to watch them again because I did enjoy them. And the last one, specifically the last one, is a guilty pleasure, 100%. But the first one that I want is the first volume of the Future Visions of the Future. It's the David Suzuki's The Nature of Things. It's a 2 DVD set, and it has stuff like the Suzuki Diaries. There's a few segments here, like the Suzuki Diaries, Supercar, Building the Car of the Future, Living City, A Critical Guide, Earth Energy, and Build Green. And I do want to watch these again because I think he's one of the smartest Canadians ever lived, and I want to give him props. And he's such a beautiful, awesome man that I have such respect for David Suzuki. And I think everybody who has a chance, I don't know where you can find this, or it's not, I guess it's not going to be for everybody, but it's something that I enjoy. When I found this very cheap, or did I get it from somebody? I think somebody maybe had left it behind, or given it to me, and I just kept it thinking that, oh, it was not bad. And I haven't watched it in like years, like at least 4 to 5 years, and I do want to watch this again because I know I enjoyed it. And I want to refresh my memory on some of the stuff. This is a 2009 edition here. So this came out in 2009. So it's a little older and may not be up to date to the current technologies and stuff. But I still think it's a good understanding of where he was coming from and his point of view of what he thought. And I want to see how closely he came to matching matching his little predictions of the future. That's what I'm more curious about. Yeah, this next one here. What can I say about this one except it is 100% a guilty pleasure. I watch it because it's so ridiculous, and I mean, okay, on one side, I can totally look at it from a serious point of view and see where they're coming from, and and get the objective point of view of the subject matter. But on the other hand, it is really ridiculous and weird and bizarre, and that somebody made a documentary. But it's serious. It's a serious documentary, and I got it the first time I watched it. I understood where it was coming from, and yes, it's 100% a guilty pleasure. It's called Air Guitar Nation. It's all about the rise of air guitar, and that there's competitions, air guitar competitions that used to go on. I don't know if they're doing them anymore. And these two that are on the cover, they became sort of superstars. They're being mocked and stuff in some ways, but they took it so seriously. Like I said, it's a serious movie that you shouldn't really take seriously, but you should, but you shouldn't. Just, if you ever can find it somewhere, please check it out, because I think it's just, I have to read the back of this for a bit, okay? Rockin' music, a cult fan following, and loads of fun all come together as the world's best air guitarists battle it out for 60 seconds of mock stardom to attain the title of the best air guitarist in the world. Just that there alone just tells you everything you need to know about this. So yes, it's 100% a guilty pleasure, and I love it. I haven't watched this in quite a few years, probably about 4 or 5 years, but I definitely need to watch this again to refresh my memory and just to get a chuckle. It just makes me laugh, and I think it's funny, and it's just, something to enjoy without having to think too hard about it. It's just something I can probably just put on in the background and do other stuff. I could probably draw while watching this, because it's just one of those type of movies. But it's just one of those kind of feel good, not to kick up your feet and enjoy yourself. Do not take this movie seriously at all, even though it is a serious movie. But that's it. That's all I want to tell you today, and show you some guilty pleasures, some underappreciated gems. And again, that opinions vary. Opinions are going to go up and down, and I know everybody's not going to agree with me, and some of you might agree with some of what I said or not said. But again, like I said, that type of entertainment is very subjective. It all depends on your background, your mental state, your emotional state. It really does make a factor of what you end up liking or disliking. And nobody should be able to put you down for liking the things you like. So what if you like something that other people do not like? Go for it. I think if it makes you happy and if it doesn't hurt other people, 100% embrace it and go for it. So I'm just going to let you go right here, and as always, please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side, and please, everybody, have a great day, evening, night, wherever you may be. Peace.